Hello, hello, fixed signs. Welcome to Tower Moment Taurus. This is take 3 of this damn video. Hopefully it works this time. Just letting you know this is a brand new channel. This is only the second video in my channel, so welcome. This is for the fixed sign, specifically Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. This spiel is going to get longer every time I make a video because I always forget something, but just letting you know that this is general reading, not a one-to-one reading. I do not do personal readings at this time, so if anybody reaches out to you using my name saying, hey, would you like a personal reading, do not go for it. It's a scam. I am not doing personal readings at this time. Of course, that could always change in the future, but I will let you know on this channel if I actually do that. Also, these are potential energies. They're not set in stone. You have the power to change things as you see fit. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And of course, I am not a licensed psychiatrist or a medical professional. If you need help in that regard, please seek out somebody with the proper licensure to help you out. I am just a card reader, and these readings are for entertainment purposes only. So with that said, let's get started, and hopefully my cards are patient with me and they understand that I'm having technical issues at this time. This is for the fixed signs. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, can you please give me 3 cards? Okay. 1, 2, and 3. And of course, interesting. So, you know, bless. It's always like whenever you do these repeat readings and something happens where, you know, the message, if it's meant to get across, will always get across. And it feels like with the first video and with the second video, I literally have 2 repeat cards, and then I have a couple of new cards in addition, because the tarot likes to be specific. So when 2 cards come up, I like to read them as one. You have the 3 of Swords and then the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Very, very interesting, because it kind of goes back to what I was hopefully trying to express with the previous videos. But there has been some details that have been overlooked that is causing a great deal of pain and suffering here. I'm not exactly sure what the breakdown is. It kind of felt like maybe someone was doing too much or showing off something that they weren't supposed to show off, you know, something that they did mindlessly, and now it's causing pain in that regard in the grand scheme of things because it wasn't supposed to be discovered. It could be in a matter of an engagement, because I kept saying that maybe it had something to do with an engagement and talking about that, because we have the Hierophant here. Of course, this is the Taurus card. Hey, hello, hi, fellow Tauruses. But it also speaks about higher level commitments, could also speak about mentorship and like unity as a whole in general. And then the last card that came up, that even though this kind of flew over this way, I'm still reading it as the reverse because that's eventually how it landed. But you have the Wheel of Fortune here in reverse, and that is specifically talking about maybe a turn for the worse or a turn of bad luck. But it just kind of plays into what I was talking about before. And like I said, my cards just really don't try to play around when it comes to me and making sure that I'm getting all the correct messages. But there is something funky here, and I think it has to do with a relationship. And we just have to see a little bit more. Can you tell me more about this 3 of Swords and then the 8 of Pentacles in reverse? Cancer, evocation. Some of these are repeat cards. Pet. Could involve a pet. Let's see. More details, please. A little bit psychic. Came out. Dark cloud. You. Ooh. Interesting. Well, damn, I feel a little called out. Because this is specifically a card that I made for myself that I forgot to take out of the deck. But, you know, hey, if it applies, it applies. So, including the rest of you, I'm also in this as well, obviously, Taurus. So there's a situation where maybe a detail was overlooked that's causing some great deal of pain. And, you know, with the dark cloud, I said that in regards to love and relationships, I will be 100% transparent. I'm going through a little bit of pain and heartbreak right now because I'm in love with someone that is in love with someone else. So it could be in regards to that. And then a little bit psychic, like basically your intuition is your greatest ally, and like maybe you saw this coming or you knew that this was going to come. There's probably something missing that you weren't sure about. And then also pet. This situation involves a pet. Now this is interesting because I do not have pets myself, so this does apply probably to the greater collective of the fixed sign group. But I also see relocation and Cancer here as well. So it could involve a Cancer sign, or maybe the situation occurs in Cancer. But there's definitely relocation when it talks about not specifically travel, but like actually like moving house, moving locations. I know I'm trying to move. So it could be in a new town, new state, new country, depending on where you live. But there is a detail that is overlooked, and I just want to be able to emphasize that because there's something that was missed, maybe something in the fine print that was missed, who knows. But it's basically something that you're going to have to look at a little bit closer, because it's causing you a lot of pain right now. And like maybe even you're too hyper focused on the things that are going on, and there's actually a bigger picture issue coming ahead that you don't quite see yet. So let's continue with this Hierophant. Please, relaxation. Hell froze over. And then okay, let's get some more details. Walk away. Kind of felt like that was coming. Dunning-Kruger effect. Interesting. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Didn't think so. Higher level commitment. I had spoken about an engagement before, so I kind of wonder if this is a situation where maybe like you were at home with family and friends, and then there was a situation where maybe you were kind of forced into a higher level commitment or decided to make that change into one. We also have Hell froze over. So basically, in the context of this card and the way that I wrote it, it's basically saying that like expecting the impossible, or expecting the possible from impossible people, but it's usually only a temporary situation. So you know how there's always that old saying, like a broken clock is right twice a day. Like there's just moments of clarity and things that you don't really expect from certain people, and yet for some reason they show themselves and then they go right back to being trash. So kind of the same situation with this. Like don't get too excited. If this is one of those situations where maybe you were involved in a higher level commitment, don't expect it to be permanent. Unfortunately, I actually do want to say that, because this may have been just a moment, a fleeting moment of something that is just happening because like they just, you know, were moving on a whim of some sort. You also have walking away, so you can be walking away from a person or a job. If this is a higher level commitment, you're definitely moving away from something. Because this is a Hierophant, this is which is a Taurus card. This could specifically be talking about us Tauruses, but you never know. And then senior citizen, this is involving a person over the age of 60. It could mean that. It could also involve, you know, something that is kind of old too. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a person, but it could be like an heirloom or something that is old. Just like I said, when I talk about engagement, could be like a hand-me-down engagement ring, you know, and that's like something that was being used, but then it turns out like it's not not worth it, you know what I mean? And then there's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And I know I'm a little all over the place with this reading. It's just because like there's a few different energies that it could be. So I'm just trying to make sure that like I'm covering everything. But Dunning-Kruger effect. So basically having a little bit of overconfidence and believing that you can do more than you actually can, and overestimation of your abilities. Especially since you have health rose over, maybe it's one of those things where, once again, like I said, the possible from impossible people, where they're like, hey, yeah, I can totally do it, and you like are like shocked, like, oh my gosh, holy shit, that's a thing that's gonna happen. And then it turns out no, that's temporary, that's not what you think it is. So let's move on to this last card, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Can you please give me some energy based upon that, some clarifiers? Significant other. Yeah, and especially with a turn of bad luck, and that had come up before. Retail therapy, and then Wheel of Fortune. More energy, please. There's a solution here. Shadow, never going to happen. Fitness. Okay. So, never going to happen. Came together. Retail therapy and significant other. Yeah, so this is a turn for the worse. You know, with all of it together, I kind of wonder, and it goes back to the previous few readings that I did have for you where the video didn't work out. But I wonder if there's a significant other that did something that they weren't supposed to do, or show off something that they weren't supposed to show off. I keep talking about engagement, but now I'm kind of wondering if this is a situation where maybe an ultimatum was involved. Like they were saying like, oh, you have to do this. If we are going to continue forward, you have to do this. You have no choice. And like basically your arm got twisted, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is something that I can do, and then it turns out that it's turning into shit. Retail therapy, so money is actually being spent here, but if it's a turn of bad luck, it may be a turn of bad luck and a bad investment. There's also a solution here, so maybe like thinking about what can you do, especially with this turn of bad luck, what can be done, you know what I mean, to fix whatever is going on. Does that mean walking away because you have walk away, you know? You know, is that moving on to something else, you know what I mean? Who knows? Never going to happen, and the Shadow came out together. So the Shadow is all about like the dark side of yourself and the things that are really unhealed with yourself, especially with its paired with never going to happen, and considering everything else that I'm seeing, I feel like maybe this was a higher level commitment that wasn't meant to be a higher level commitment. Like, it really wasn't supposed to go this far, and the only reason why you let it go this far was because you were either just trying to make something work, or it like, and I'm going to harken back to something that I had seen in the previous readings. Maybe a parent forced you into an engagement that you weren't supposed to be in. For those of us that are single, of course, let this fly because this doesn't apply to us. But this could be for a lot of you fixed signs where you were made to be put in a situation that you didn't really want to put into as far as a higher level commitment. It could even be a situation where I hate to say this, but I don't know necessarily if you were really feeling it for this person, and the only reason why like you had to do something was because you were just with them for a long time because you were comfortable and you were complacent. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's the situation, because the Wheel of Fortune is all about fixed sign energy, and we're a fixed sign group. The Hierophant is a fixed sign energy, that's Taurus. You even have like the Three of Arms, or the Three of Swords, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and like that's air and earth energy. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this is a situation where there's a commitment being made that you didn't actually want to make, but you just had to go along with it. So fitness, interestingly enough, that this has come through, because this is all about your physical fitness, diet, exercise, things of that nature. I would actually say that it could also mean that you may need to go running. Maybe take a run, or like do something to just boost the serotonin in your brain, so that way you can make some clear decisions. But it definitely looks like whatever is going on here, it looks like there may be an ending. So let me get some final advice for you from the Rock and Roll Oracle, because that will give me a little bit more insight into this situation and what is going on. Okay, can you please give some final advice to Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, the fixed signs, please? Some final advice. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Nope. Okay, cool. Brian Wilson, the surfer. Interesting. If you know a little bit about Brian Wilson, he's the lead singer of the Beach Boys. He also had a moment of depression where he was in bed for a really long time, and it says trauma, navigation, instinct. Depression, anxiety, and pain can feel like crashing waves of hopelessness. Traumas, new and old, can leave you feeling lost at sea, helpless, and confused. But within these difficult times are lessons to be learned and opportunities to grow. Sometimes it may seem easier to give up and let the tide drag you further away from the ones you love, your health and your livelihood, to succumb to nothingness and hope your troubles will subside on their own. But it's time to take control of your board and hang 10, looking squarely at the source of your struggles and address them. If your ailments are physical, maybe it's time to see a doctor or a physical therapist. If anxiety and depression are pulling you under, rest your body and mind by slowing down. Maybe taking a personal day to be kind to yourself or seek counseling, rather than resisting the currents and trying to force them in the direction you think is best. Observe your obstacles and the root of them, and let your instincts guide you to the best way to make peace and overcome them. With the support of the people close to you and a genuine desire to heal, you can tread any wave that comes your way and experience the joy, beauty, and triumph of riding through the barrel of life. So, like I said, I am personally experiencing some sadness over heartbreak. Obviously there was a card there meant for me, but I also feel like maybe some of you as well are kind of witnessing firsthand some higher level commitment from somebody that you wanted but doesn't want you. But just letting you know that on the flip side of it, doesn't look like you're having such a great time either. So this may just be one of those situations where everybody just needs to take some time, get some rest, and you know, just let things come what they may, and just focus on the things that you can control. So with that said, thank you so much for watching.